Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar, and welcome to another episode of the Some Ordinary Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Caleb still got some stuff going on with Sour Boys and everything, so he's unavailable for a little minute. But we've got an amazing guest, one of the, best friends of the channel, Nexpo here, and of course, Nuxtaku, who is my co-host. How's it going, guys?
Going good, bro.
Yo! I haven't been paid in 100 episodes. How's it going?
Dude, I swear to God, we're gonna have to get like Bill's like CFO.
I'm gonna have to be reporting you guys for this because y'all need to pay this man. Come on, hey, Nux deserves to be paid.
That money is lined up for a charity, and it's going to his.
Good. We're getting the completionist is going to be the middleman on this one, I think.
Dude, I actually love how brazenly brave that guy. Like, he just decided to come back and upload like Mario and Sonic shit, and it's just fine, dude.
The Mario RPG video.
Dude's getting 90% dislikes on all of his videos. It's not like he weathered the storm completely.
I mean, I stan him, dude. Like, I'm down for more completionist content, dude. I love Mario RPG. Go ahead.
That's like the strat though. Like YouTubers, whenever they get into this shit like this, you have one of two things to do: is like fall off the face of the earth for like a year or two, and then come back and get shit on, or just keep weathering the storm, like pulling a mini lad and just pretending nothing happened. And I think he's trying that. It's not working.
Dude, but I mean, like, even the mini lad shit, like, I think it depends on the severity of the crime, because I ain't gonna lie, like, mini lad, every time I open up his comments, it's just like, mini lad likes the mini lads or something.
Oh my god.
I love that comment. It's amazing.
That might work for some people, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, if he had just started, like, uploading through it, he probably wouldn't face anything, but he made that shit tier response video and called it a day, dude.
Yeah.
And dude, when I saw that response from Completionist, like, the first thing, it was like, all right, hey, Carl, do you see how stupid it is? He's like, I know. And then,
dude,
it's like, the wild thing is, though, like, YouTube commenters, and I'm just going to say it like it is, a lot of people watching YouTube cannot critically think anymore. So when that video came out, and I was like, I'm reading the comments, I'm like, yo, they're eating this shit up. What the and then, I make a video and everyone, and then, I make a video and everyone, flips. I'm like, you guys are the worst people. You cannot critically think whatsoever. And I don't want to blame the audience anymore. I think at the end of the day, it's like, listen, you guys up, but so did I, because recently something came out where I didn't even critically think properly. And this involves a close friend who you've heard on this channel, Mamamax. Now, he's been a friend of the
show.
No. He's
former friend of the show.
You took a public enemy #1 in my eyes, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Max, for those of you who don't know, he's been on our show a few times. He's been a close friend, I would say. He's been in our friend circle, so to speak, right? For all of us. I don't know how close you were with him, Nux, but me and Ryan, we hung out with him. We stayed with him in places, so it was a little different for us. I don't know what it was like for you.
I got to know him through the podcast, basically. I don't remember who invited him. He was on for his Pick a Side YouTube. That's when I met him. I didn't even have his Discord info until I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but one of the people that works behind the scenes with our podcast was like, "Oh, hey, Nux, Max wants to talk to you. Can you add him on Discord?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I don't know." And then this happened.
And so it began.
But I feel so bad for corroborating videos of his in the past, and dude, I'm so sorry to anyone that got hate because of me, because I corroborated his claims against people that I didn't look into personally.
Right.
That was the thing though. Like Max was always a very good. I don't want to say manipulator, but manipulator. He had a lot of different personas for different aspects of his life. I felt like I always got the Max as a person, a human being. Like Muda also got that. His real life personality was so just chill and laid back and everything. And then I'm sure he was like that on the podcast where he was just kind of chilled or whatever. And then there's the Mamamax stuff where actually making his content, he does these stupid decisions that are in hindsight pretty cringy. He can't keep himself out of controversy, and that's his problem. And he's always said he wants to just go and hide in a hole and just make his videos, and he's just gone against that at every turn.
Well, so the controversies, and I guess this is going to be kind of like an explanation hour, right? Like,
Yeah.
true crime podcast style, you know? Like, we're going to be looking into this case.
Yeah.
So the thing about, like, Max is he's, like, a true crime content creator in a way, too, right? Like,
True
a lot of
with
his,
an
like...
asterisk, like true asterisk crime.
Yeah, it's about as true as the open hand charity. So, like...
Hey, the open hand charity ended up giving money to charity at the end of the day. I'm just saying.
Yeah, actually, that's true. If we had to like compare them, the open hand charity did give money to Alzheimer's research.
If Max gets
still...
a pedophile locked up, then he's like the open hand charity.
Yeah. So again, for people in the true crime circuit, right? Like, I find it to be kind of a. I'm a conflicted guy with true crime, right? Like, I've covered things in the past that are crimes and whatnot, but I usually have like a rule where it's like, if there's police involved and the case is going well, then I'll cover it, right? Because I know that at least something's happening. If it's a situation that's like a... If there's something that you can add to it, sure. But a lot of times I find that people who make that content just like re-victimize people that are like going through shit. Like the Dahmer series came out, right? Like with Jeffrey Dahmer on Netflix.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, you know, I watched through it, but it's like, for me, that's not the kind of content that I usually consume because it's like, all right, I know about him. I don't need to know the gruesome details about like everyone that he's killed and everything, right? Like that's not... You know, it's not something that I care too much for, but it's a big deal on YouTube. It's a big deal in the world. Like, people love consuming content. Max was in a type of content that was so easy to not like get screwed up in. His enemy was pedophiles, right?
I think that's why so many people were on his side for as long as they were. That's why I was on his side up until, you know, all this shit came out. Because, like, he's going up against literally the worst people in the universe. And it's like, well, yeah, it's a pretty easy side to take.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, at the end of the day, he was in a situation where if you criticized him, it was like, well, what are you doing? You're trying to, like, you know, defend like a pedo or something, and it's like, oh, okay, that's a good point. I guess I'll just stop all critical thinking. And that's kind of where I was for a little bit too, right? Like, I'm like, oh, you know, he's like doing, like, he's trying to stop really bad people, right? And he's a friend, so, you know, give him the benefit of the doubt and call it a day.
And also, you see his comment sections are full of, like, survivors of sexual assault talking about how these videos bring them peace. And it's like, dude, you're gonna really hate on this guy? Well...
I mean, like his style, I mean, it's a cool style, but for the subject matter, it's very... It is a lot, but yeah, like Nux was saying, if you go through the comments, there are a lot of people that like feel vindicated by it, and you know, I just figured like, oh, I mean, these are the people that he's appealing to. This is his audience, and if they're enjoying this, then I guess he's doing a good thing, you know. And you can't argue with someone who I guess, like at the end goal, like is doing like a good thing. At least it was thought back then, you know. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's just difficult seeing someone that you thought you knew just come out as a complete fraud. and that's where like the story goes to, right? Because so for anybody that's not knowing, in the last I want to say 2 to 3 months, there's been a story about a vampire, right? That Max was covering. Now I use vampire very loosely. Obviously, vampires are not real. You know, I think we all know this, like everyone watching. Neither are werewolves, right? But Max was covering a guy that he accused straight out of running a sex werewolf vampire cult. Now, the thing about it is they're looking at this whole story and talking to people that were actually affected by it. I think that there was illegal shit that happened, right? And you don't need to have a vampire cult for illegal stuff to happen. You just need somebody to take advantage of someone, and that's pretty much the story right there. So in this video that Max released 2 months ago, he was hitting me up on Discord, and I don't know if he hit you guys up, but he said that reaction channels are about to like get a blow up because he's going to make a video specifically targeting them about a case. And I was like, okay, so this is something that you're in for, cool, I'll review whatever you're sending. So this is during the time that I was covering Gerard, so like my time could not be diverted from this. I was already too involved in a story. Yeah, you were in the weeds on that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to look at this when I have the time. And also it was just like, listen, dude, I'm being like threatened by like his apparently super rich family about like getting sued. So I got to make sure all my ducks are in a row. So
Dude,
you got to
this
give me
was
a
not
fat
a good
minute.
year for Gerards. Just Gerard,
Oh, yeah.
all the Gerards came together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but by the way, yeah, this guy's one of his like aliases was Gerard. So you know, every Gerard that I came across was just
bad news.
rubbing me. Yeah, exactly. It's like if it's one thing out of this whole thing, I never want to see the name Gerard again. Like I never ever want to see it. Like, like I don't give a if it's the nicest dude in the world or the greatest story. If I see that name, it's over. Like I'm
Muda's
never
gonna have a
covering
son.
that.
His wife is gonna say, "I want to name him after my granddad, Gerard." No.
Dude, I swear to God, if Jen ever brought up the name Gerard, I'm like, all right, it's over, it's done. Like we're never gonna have this discussion again. But yeah, so he brings this vampire cult story up, and then he releases this video called "Brainwash Your Favorite Influencer." Now, for anybody that hasn't watched any of this, he's deleted every single thing on this video series. Rightfully so.
Oh, he deleted all this stuff. Finally.
Every single thing is deleted, but the YouTube shorts where he still calls the man like a sex cult leader and whatnot.
Okay,
so
you can't take this stuff back. Like,
no, exactly. You can't take back a serious allegation, right? Like that is stupid. But this is the thing I've learned about Max is he's the guy that thinks he plays 4D chess, but he's actually brain dead at everything that he does. Because he releases his video series called Brainwash Your Favorite Influencer, and the problem with it is like he accuses this guy of a serious like crime, but he doesn't back it up with really strong corroborating evidence.
any
right?
evidence. Any
Yeah.
evidence.
At all.
Like okay, Ryan, when you work on a video, right, for your channel, and I know that you don't cover like super duper like serious shit like this, but let's say you're covering something like, I don't know, world.com or any like video game or some creepy corner of the internet.
Yeah.
It's in our job, right, to make a breadcrumb trail from beginning to end. To get the audience to understand the story and, everything so on and so forth, right?
Right. Correct.
If you can't do that, you're a shitty storyteller. It's like if I'm sitting there accusing somebody of charity fraud, I can't just say, yeah, this guy committed charity fraud, please believe me. No, I'm going to have to show you documentation, otherwise I get laughed the out. That's what basically he didn't do. Max didn't provide any of that information, and that's why he's been getting ass blasted on the internet about it. And rightfully so, because he's made serious allegations, but if he's not able to back it up, like, dog, the world's going to shit on you.
Yeah, and it's like if you're calling someone a pedophile, that's one of the most vile like acts a human being can do. It's up there with murder. And if you're going around like just saying like, oh, Camden Gerard Davis is a pedophile with no evidence and just expecting all your YouTube friends to just run with it, because Max was very well ingrained in the YouTube sphere. Like he was good at just befriending everyone and kind of just getting buddy with everyone. And I guess he really was banking on that to get people to just blindly believe him and spread his message. And it didn't work. But
I just went to his channel, so he took down his last 4 videos on this subject, and he listed all of his past videos for the last 7 years. What is going on? But anyway, the weirdest part of this whole thing to me, when I first found it, wasn't even that he called it Brainwashing Your Favorite Influencer. He rebrands his channel to God Cult, right? He's like, he's trying to make a cult to destroy a cult. Like, it's a weird perspective to take. Right. And it's very artsy, and I think that ultimately became everyone's major complaint. Well, aside from the unsubstantiated allegations, I think that was basically everyone's major complaint against this guy. Turns out all of his past videos were just faked. Like, he says the pedophiles he accused are all real, but everything in the video is just pure fiction.
I did want to kind of speak on that point, though. Like, I know I went on Larix's stream, and I wasn't as concise as I wanted to be about this, but I was asked about, like, his creative process, like, what he does, like, if I've ever seen, like, him catch any pedophiles or predators, or like, if I've ever seen any definite proof of what he does. And I'd just like to say that I haven't. That was one of the major complaints that I had with him directly whenever I was scolding him about all this crap was that I never got to get an in on his process. I never got to see his timeline. I never got to see like the messages that he was sending predators. I never knew anything that was going on. It was always behind closed doors. Every single thing he was doing. And I was someone who lived close to him at one point and would go over to his house, and he never would let me see what he does. Like I would always ask him because I was very curious on like editing techniques and like just different things that like us as like creators do. Like we talk about editing and shit. That's just how it is, right?
I mean, but his videos look good, right?
Yeah,
his videos they're like an enjoyable experience. I mean, if you can get past like the the cringe side.
There were a lot of techniques that I really wanted to like get insight on, like how he does, like that cool like glitch effect and stuff. Like I wanted to learn how to do that. And he just
the
never
data
let
moshing
me.
that he does,
He never really let me into the process. He always does this thing where, like, when I ask him a serious question or anything like that's not like a jokey, lighthearted convo comes up, he does this like laugh, and then kind of just like and he's like
that laugh,
oh,
the anime
funny.
laugh.
You're funny, or you're cute, and then it just moves on to a different topic, and like because I don't know how to respond to that. It's just a little awkward.
Yeah, but, I mean, like how can you
I do know what
respond?
you're talking about. So I spoke to him privately, like the day before Muda and Nick Diorio had like that whole call with him, and we ended off in a very different spot than what happened in your call. Because when I saw your call, I really I couldn't believe it. Like I thought that he was going to be calling you to apologize. Like that's how I thought it was going to go. After
has he ever said publicly I'm sorry?
Yeah,
no,
he took accountability. Remember?
Accountability.
He didn't say sorry though.
He did say sorry. He said sorry
to Charlie.
To Charlie.
That's it.
Okay, I guess, but still, like, for everything else, though,
No, I mean, like, but here's the thing, like, at this point, like, since he's threatened to, like, him and his, like, lead witness have threatened to, like, sue him, like, I don't give a
Hey,
about your apology.
Fair, Muda, you are extremely rich, so, I mean...
I swear to God, when I was reading that shit, I was like, I cannot, like, my jaw dropped reading that, because part of me was like, I can't, that's why I wrote in the tweet, I'm like, I can't verify it's real, so, like, a couple hours later, like, I see more screenshots that get leaked out to me, and it's like, oh, dog, it's real, and I'm like, you, dude, like, what an actual shit.
I could not believe that.
I was going off on him. I was going off on him behind the scenes, like, of like, how like, heartbreaking it is seeing, like, someone who I thought I knew, like, go through all this shit and do what he's doing, and how I felt like I didn't really know him at all and everything. Basically just, saying, like, I'm done, I'm out, I can't help you, I'm sorry, dude. Like, I wanted to keep all my shit, like, just, offline and everything. And he said, I'm sorry, bro, I'm going to make this up to you. Like, just please let me respond to Muda before you make a final decision, blah, 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 blah. I didn't respond, but it was a few days later when I saw the leaked screenshots of the lawsuit against you, or the proposed lawsuit against you for $1 million, saying that you're extremely rich and everything. And to me, bro, I was like, okay, that's his response. I mean, I'm not gonna wait for anything else besides that. That's ridiculous. I'm officially done.
and this is the wildest part about it too. Like, we and him were like friends at one point. So if he's saying that to a friend, imagine if you're like always his enemy and shit, right? Like, imagine if you're somebody that he never liked in the first place, bro. Like, it's over for you.
Yeah.
One of the things with like Max or whatever, and this is one of the freakiest things that I thought of in like the last couple days when I was thinking about making a response. It's like, I was just kind of sitting down and I was like, man, what if like tomorrow I get like a pedo allegation from him or something?
Yeah.
And
I can literally cancel you, Charlie. I can literally cancel you. I'm the freaking pedo hunter.
He has a pattern.
For anybody that, go ahead.
Yeah, no, he has a pattern of like, of leaving like ex-friends with like, I guess, allegations or different like blackmail behind the scenes that forces them into silence to never speak up against him. And a lot of people have come forward since I put out my statement to open up to me. Yeah, and I'm not going to name any names, but basically there's a pattern of behavior going on with Max, and it's sad. That's all I got to say.
Dude, I don't know. I feel like this experience taught me a lot about just like needing to rethink my friendships. I don't know. When I'm friendly with someone and they tell me something or do something, like just I'm gonna believe them just because I don't know, they're my friend. Why would they lie to me? And I've made this mistake before, and I don't learn.
I mean, I don't think it's, like, necessarily wrong to, like, you know, give your friends even, like, a benefit of the doubt, too. But the only thing that I, like, agree on is, like, I let him get too much of the benefit of the doubt, you know?
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to situations like this. Like, look, I love Coffee. He's a good friend, great person to investigate something with. But, and again, this is no dig at him or anything, but it's, like, even working with him on any future case or anything, I'm always going to be double-checking everything that he does. Not because, like... even just this Max situation, but because that's just how you probably should do things, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a past thing. Like there was the VTuber that was canceled for allegedly doing weird grooming type shit, and like I was in a video and I was talking about it, and I also alleged that he did that because close friends of mine told me, and I saw creepy conversations of him talking to kids and or talking about kids and. Liking little boys and stuff like that. Who knows if it's a joke, and like I alleged it also because a friend told me, and I regret it because he I don't know if it's true. He ended up coming back with some sort of response. I don't know, this guy Bungo Taiga, and I apologized to him privately that I even alleged something like that, and like because a friend told me and I believed him.
Muda put out a good
for me,
tweet
that's
last night.
That's the hardest part of this whole thing.
Yeah.
For me.
Like that tweet Muda put out last night, it's so true. Like, just, it's hard to trust anyone on YouTube these days because, I mean, like, you think you know someone and it's just fucking sad, dude.
I mean, and I don't want to sit here and be like, never trust your friends, but it's like, somebody like Max, it's like maybe don't put people in your blinders because it's like, really thinking about it, like, we never really talked, or I talked mostly, and like, I never really got anything out of him. So, pay attention to that
When
shit.
I talked to Max last time, I told him, listen, Max, do you remember the whole, what happened with Quite? That, like, there were all these false allegations against Quite by somebody. Yeah. And then there was this guy, Lord Bung, a YouTuber that did, like, SCP content or whatever. And he corroborated all these claims against Quite because he was friends with the alleger of these claims, right? And Quite ended up basically disproving everything, and he was completely in the clear, and Lord Bung ended up deleting his whole channel, I think, because of this. And the reason why is because he took his friend at face value, and it destroyed him because he believed his friend. And I told Max point blank, Max, you are friends with these people, you might be a Lord Bung right now. Like, I told him that in the call, and he's like, well, you've given me a lot to think about. And yeah, right, I gave him a lot to think about. You didn't do anything different.
I hate it when that shit happened. Like, when he's like, you really gave me something profound to think about. I'm like, what, having evidence for your allegation?
Dude, we called him before any of this started. Muda, we called him literally right after he dropped his first videos, and we were like, yo, what are you doing? Do not say anything until you have a full video with evidence. Oh, you've given me a lot to think about. It's coming out this Friday. Yeah, coming out this Friday.
This never was 2 months ago. Friday. So, and this is like, to go on to the next point. So the reason why this all escalated is like, he makes his first video, the Brainwashing. And the Brainwashing video was about the dumbest thing you could imagine because he makes these claims. Me and Nuck speak privately, and I'm sure you did too, Ryan. I'm sure everyone did.
Yeah.
He did not take anybody's advice, okay? All he did was produce another video, What Happened to Mamamax, where he responds to, like, some of the most, like, inane criticisms.
Hate comments.
Literally, exactly. It's like, a video about hate comments from back in the day.
Did I fall off when children are falling into the hands of pedophiles?
It's like, okay, dude, good for me.
That's such a good impression.
but then, like, and then to build on top of, like, what his video is, and then he makes, like, a third video. And the third video is by far one of the most blatant attention grabs you could ever see. So when this dropped, I remember the exact moment, okay? This is like, when people are like, where was I during insert national event, right?
Oh my God, dude.
So I'm like driving my car, and I see this ping, right, from Max, because at this point I have this channel on, like...
that's what happened to me.
I have this channel on, like, Google Alerts. I'm like, the bell, because I want to see the next phase of this madness. Then it's like, this is the greatest cancellation of all time. And, like...
With Charlie in the thumbnail.
Dude, my eye freaks out because it's so on my phone lock screen. Like, I just see this tiny thumbnail of Charlie, and like, it's just in my like phone charger, and I'm like, oh shit, oh god, what the does he have on Charlie? What? So like, I open up the video, and it's not Charlie. In fact, it's quite possibly more clickbait than like Lispy Jimmy, some of these like dog shit GTA creators from back in the day, right? Like the worst clickbait imaginable. And so. Yeah. He covers like so he starts this thing off like basically shitting on like talking head channels where I guess the best way is to be like he's this Jacksepticeye type reaction channel, and he's like this is a guide on how to cover serious topics if you're like a reaction channel, and then he shits on everyone covering the Sniper Wolf stuff, which look, I'm just gonna say this about Sniper Wolf, dude. She showed up to a dude's house, okay? I'm sorry, no matter what you think, there's some up shit about it.
I think the whole Sniper Wolf situation was perfectly logical to be talking about as much as people did. It's a YouTuber with 35 million subscribers that's stealing content, that's showing up to people's houses. Like, that was an insane ride.
I wonder what his demeanor would be like if that situation were flipped on Max. Like if someone showed up to his house and posted it on their Snapchat story and basically blasted his address.
Well, he would go Hotline Miami on their ass. I would think. I mean,
but it's like it's a very serious thing.
You know what he would say.
People.
I was doxxed by a 35-year-old female. She's a pedophile.
Pedophile showed up to my house, and this is what happened.
I told him not to make that video, by the way. I told him not to. The
Charlie video, I only knew he messaged it to me after he posted it saying, "Let me know what you think." It's like, what kind of criticism? You already posted it.
He sent Crowley and I a work in progress saying, "Let me know what you think. Any advice appreciated about the Charlie thing, like the opening sequence." And the thing about Max that really made me realize that whenever he does this shit, he already has his mind made up. Is that like the video was already edited, like the whole first part about him like going crazy with the fucking accent and everything, and basically like as a friend who had no idea what the fuck was going on, because like I had literally zero idea what was happening. I was like, oh, I don't know, man, like this is kind of not the best idea. I just signed last year with Mr. Ballin, and I work basically under him, and I can hardly get in touch with that guy. Like, he's the busiest motherfucker on the planet, Mr. Ballin. Like, the true crime guy.
I don't know.
Okay.
He's around the same size as Charlie, I think, but I told Max, I was like, look, like he's the busiest guy on earth. Like, he's got his shit going on and everything. Like, I told Max, like maybe Charlie's the same way. I wouldn't come off so hard on him.
But even if he's not, even if he was ghosting you, you're not gonna call.
Yeah.
You're not gonna allege someone's a pedophile.
I should have been harder. I should have been harder on him because I was too nice because he was like my friend, and I wanted to just be like, hey, look,
the thing.
Man.
He's your friend. What are you gonna do? Like
and then he still did it.
I mean, like, the thing with, like, Charlie, and it's like, listen, I like, he's a busy guy. We're all busy people, but he also had, like, COVID and everything, too. And like Nuck said, it's like, dude, you're not entitled to anybody's time or response, too. Like, who knows what the is going on in their life at all, right? Like, anytime somebody doesn't respond to me, I have the same... I'm like, I want you to give me the same charitability I give you, because what happens is, like, I get communicated by tons of people, and, like, sometimes my phone, it's away from me, a notification slips through. It happens even with the closest friends in my life, right? Like, sometimes I just don't see it.
Also,
and then I'll let you know.
We have real lives, too. Like, YouTube is a small part of all of our lives.
Since I've started, like, doing YouTube, god damn, almost 7 years ago now. Holy shit, I need to retire.
We need to join MatPat, dude.
Right. I've noticed, like, I've just become horrible at responding to people in general. Like, I'll see shit, and it gets worse though whenever people like spam me, like Max was doing to Charlie. Like, for some reason, I don't know why, but when people spam me like that multiple times, like following up about the same shit over and over and over, it just kind of pushes me away a little bit, and I just don't reply.
No, 100%. Same here.
So like, I'm assuming, like, you know, you got COVID and you got this guy blowing you up. It's like, dude, chill. You know.
Also,
like,
once you get like 3 messages from somebody, you just are put off from answering them. Right?
Exactly.
You get one DM, 2 DMs, 3 DMs. You have like 14 notifications from one person, and you can't, you don't have the headspace to click on that notification, that message, because then you need to answer 14 messages. I've been messaged by Max before, bro. He sends you the Encyclopedia Britannica every time he wants to let you know anything, and it's not even written like a human, because he puts what he wants to say into ChatGPT, so ChatGPT can poop out the least lifelike message on the planet.
I cannot believe
This week I had a contact, like I had a communication with my lawyer, and if maybe one day I'll just jokingly share the email. It was literally from me. Like this is how wild YouTube is for anybody watching. This is like an actual company letterhead from me to my lawyer, and it's like, hey, can you challenge ChatGPT in a court of law? Like, it's a fucking joke. Oh my god. Like, it was me just jokingly emailing. I'm like, hey, if the situation arises, could you challenge ChatGPT to an international defamation trial? And that's when the lawyer goes to you. Because I'm like, how do I brighten this dude's day up real quick? I'm like, let me ask him the most stupidest shit. But like that ChatGPT shit is such a true thing, and that's one of the reasons why his video, like now that I rewatch them, because since he's taken them off, I've been kind of like rewatching the archives I stored for my video, and it's like the whole script seems like it is written by ChatGPT. Like because here's the thing about these videos and why nobody took him seriously. He covers this sex cult leader for like 2 minutes out of a 20-minute video, right? And
there's a big reason for that. First of all, he has no evidence, so it's really hard to make it more than 2 minutes.
Exactly.
But this is the thing that threw me when I spoke to him. I said, like, dude, like, what are you doing? When's this actual video with evidence coming out? Because right now you're not just do you look like a fool, but you're making everyone that's ever been friendly with you look like a fool. And he basically said, I have to wrap my mind around this. He's taking a bit of a diversion right now to focus on how streamers and YouTubers create their own cults.
He is,
and like the examples he wanted to give were like the drama channels that were challenging him. He was like, I'm gonna use them as perfect examples of how they are creating cults. We will take down cults and protect children. And I'm just like, what am I listening to?
We will protect children by taking down cults.
He moved away like a year and a half ago. So I haven't really seen him in person all that much. But when I did, he was definitely talking a lot more about like AI and like the future of humanity and on all these wild topics, like I didn't really question it back then and all that, but he has been going down a rabbit hole of like AI and all that, and it's kind of bizarre to see this change in him, because he was always so I guess like outspoken about his mind and pretty creative with his edits and everything, and like seeing him like harp on about AI and how like important it is and how he wants to be one of the first to harness the power of it and all these things,
Dude, Kwebbletop videos, except it's calling out pedophiles.
Oh my
Hear me out.
I wouldn't put it past him at this point.
But I do believe he genuinely does care about this topic. Yeah. He went about it the worst possible way.
I believe that, so at the end of the day, as much of a no friend that I am to him anymore, I do care about, like, whatever mental state that he's going through. Because here's the thing, like, if he's going down this AI rabbit hole, he's probably not, like, all the screws are probably as loose as they can be. And that doesn't excuse his shitty behavior, but, like, that does kind of shed some light onto, like, what... Because here's the thing, you can believe something as stupid as what he's pushing out, but like your heart can be in the right place, but that doesn't mean that also means you're not doing everything maliciously, or at least consciously maliciously, right? Like you might be malicious, but he doesn't appear to be doing this out of like some 4D chest strap, right?
I don't think it's out of malice. I think it's like this weird hero complex mixed with the fame and clout. But I don't even think he realizes that's why he's doing it. I think he thinks he's doing it altruistically, when in reality he's not.
I see videos like his the response to all the critics. Like it was like the second video he put out, what happened to Mamamax or something, and I feel bad for him. I feel empathy, like and like I understand his cause. And then I see the uncut Slug video that came out.
I saw that, man.
And I'm just like, those are two different people, dude. Like you're you know, like who is like the real Max here in this situation? Because like the thing where he's talking about canceling Charlie and everything, like I could literally cancel you, Charlie. I could literally cancel you.
Like I'm the pedo hunter.
It's like, bro, you sound like you're joking, but I know you're not joking because that did not make the cut, and like you're I don't know, like Max. He's got a lot of
you know when people they do that laugh, they say something like incredibly damning about themselves, and then they do that weird laugh. Like you see, you know that famous news clip of that one guy's like, "Oh yeah, I watch incest porn with the sound off because then it's just porn." And then like he does this awkward laugh, and everyone's like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, "No, it's just an example." It's like, okay, dude, it's not. Yeah,
it's like, no, it's not just an example, bro.
Right?
Yeah. No, but I get it too, because it's just with like, and this is the other thing too. Like he works with some of the most degenerate idiots on the internet. Like, so this Slug guy, he was basically notified that this guy was like a mercenary for views. You know, like he would sell you out at the slightest drop of a hat, and somebody that was known to dox individuals. Right now, I'm going to say it like it is. He's working a super serious case. Like, a super serious case involving victimized people, right? This is not something I would touch in a million years. Like, I would never touch this whole story in a million years because I'm not an expert at it, you know? Like, I'm not a cop.
Pedo hunter.
Yeah. Like, I'm not even a cop. I'm not even anybody, right? Like, when I think about, like, a financial crimes are easier to cover because generally there's a lot of proof to it, and there's not really, I would say, the same level of emotions, you know? Like, even with, like, the completionist stuff, right? Like, I would much rather be called a charity fraud than a pedo, okay? Like, it's a lot easier to watch the stink of a charity fraudster than it is like a pedo, right? Like, that's where I get into, like, the emotional side of it. When he's covering stories where he's, like, accusing people, like, dude, you gotta have the most solid, ironclad evidence imaginable. And he didn't. He just kept making accusations. And now what's happened is he's drawn the ire of people that are relentless in shitting on him. And what's happened now is that it's gotten the girls who are in this story involved. They're not able to handle, like, some of this internet back and forth. I mean, I know Max can, kind of, you know, roughly.
I don't think anyone can handle what is going on.
I mean, Max can handle it more so than these girls, I would say.
That's
right?
true, but also remember,
yeah.
Max dug his hole, all right? Like, dude made his bed and he's going to lie in it. These victims that came to him, well, most of them have absolutely nothing to do with all the hate that's getting sent their way.
They don't even want to be public.
Also, another thing that I thought was really fishy that I only found out way later, it's like Spencer, the victim that's kind of this alleged cult that's like really took the reins on everything. I think took the reins to the point that she decides what gets uploaded to YouTube, which is not something that Max should have ever done. I didn't realize she was in Max's high school. Right? Didn't that come out that she was like in Max's sister's class in school? It's like, how can you remain impartial in something like this?
Yeah, but the other thing is, like, he lets the one of the victims stay with him, pretty much room and board. Like, there is so many ethical issues with this whole story that, like, the worst thing that I can ever, like, see happening is, like, the case is not treated seriously or gets dismissed by, like, whatever law enforcement agency that can help girls like this out, you know? Right. That's the worst possible case scenario. And at that point, you can't blame anybody but Max. And, like, the biggest shed on this is this kind of content, like, this kind of, like, predator hunting shit, like, unless you're really good at what you do, like, unless you absolutely cross every T and dot every I, which, dude, most people in this sphere don't, you should never be covering it, right? So what's come out even with, like, Max's stuff is we've all seen, like, some of his, like, videos, like IMVU, you know, characters like that he's accused in the past, like Pablo Sonny even, where he goes on, like, shows and lies about, you know, getting arrests. but he hasn't actually gotten a single arrest at all.
Another
With
thing
the
I
Oreos
I
thing.
couldn't believe. Speaking of that IMVU thing, dude, rewatching his content now, like, is so harrowing. I don't know. It's like you see in that IMVU where he goes on this whole talk about Casey, and Casey is someone who had an IMVU account who followed this Pablo Sunny guy, so he found her secret YouTube channel because it had the same Naruto profile picture as she did, and he managed to hack it to get to the unlisted videos, and the unlisted video was a video of basically her video saying, here's where you raped and killed me, and there's like a bloody blanket in the forest. And then he ends up on some Discord interview, and they're like, oh my god, so Casey's died, that's crazy. And he's like, no, don't worry, she's okay.
Yeah,
Like,
what the fuck?
wait,
Yeah.
who is this did you just create this entire person and this whole narrative just to make your video look edgy and badass?
That was a whole like what 5-minute section of that video or 10-minute section of the video, and
Yeah, that was like a
and it
massive part of the video, to
See?
get you to start hating this guy, right? Obviously, and it was just fabricated. Like, just hearing his words, like his disclaimer,
While the narratives may be crafted in fiction, the pedophiles are real.
and it's like, you don't even know what that means.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, are you gonna like cover, like, are you gonna blow up somebody's face, but then like fake the evidence? Like, what does that, like, what does that actually even mean? Like, it's so outlandish, and ultimately at the end of the day, look, like, I don't know if he's ever really gonna come back from any of this. Like, I don't know if you can come back from this, right? Because the bridge is already burned,
Right.
Max should
I don't know
not
if-
do anything online until the person he is alleging is in prison, or he should just never come back at all. Like, there is no redemption unless this person that he is alleging to be evil is proven evil.
Yeah.
But even if he's proven evil, it's like, dude,
Oh, no, it doesn't.
you
It doesn't.
still, yeah.
It doesn't. Make this all of his sins go away. Okay, he still handled this horribly. He still threw dude. The worst thing about betrayal is betrayal doesn't happen from enemies. Okay.
Shit happens right from the inside, dude. But
Yeah.
ultimately, it is like it's the bed that he's made for himself, and ultimately nobody else can fix it other than him. Which I hope that like maybe he does fix it, maybe like so. But the more and more shit that comes out of this, the more and more stuff daily that's coming out of it, I don't see this ending in a good way, Like, I don't see this ending in an overly positive manner anymore, because, you just f- things up too much.
He also made
And-
an enemy of everyone.
Yeah.
Like
The whole Charlie cancellation shit, when I saw that, I'm like, dude, man, I just don't even understand how you can, like, say that even, like, behind the scenes. Like, and I watched the whole, like, Sluck thing. It didn't appear, like, overly out of context or anything, right? Like, he made them... And even if it was, like, out of context, it's like... think about that statement for a minute, right? Like, I could cancel you. So either you have shit sitting in your, like, dossier, and you haven't released that, so you're basically holding on to, like, an actual, like...
dude,
crime, a piece of evidence.
I think you're forgetting something very, very important here, Muda.
What?
He doesn't need evidence, okay? So he
That's
probably
true.
doesn't have anything on Charlie because he doesn't think evidence. In his taking accountability video, he's like,
God, 2024. You need evidence now.
Look,
like
all
so
you gotta
upset.
do go
ahead.
to a rando, ask them, hey, can you send me a DM about Charlie and just make a testimony, and I'm gonna craft a narrative around it. I'm gonna make a whole video. And I'm gonna come out and use your single testimony as my evidence to take Charlie down. So,
And he's like, don't worry, I'll get a 30-minute video out of it because I have 4 Caseys to kill.
oh my god.
Dude, like, and the thing about it, too, is, like, he knows better, bro. Like, this knows
he does.
better.
He does.
And
And
he just does this.
That's the most disappointing part of all of this is like knowing him as Max, like the dude who like goes to fucking rock climbing with me, goes to the gym, we go get some fucking lunch, whatever, like knowing Max face to face, man to man, seeing him do this crazy, weird, off the rails shit. It's like exactly he knows better. Like we shouldn't have to babysit this guy to keep him on the right track. He should know better.
Yeah.
And it's disappointing, bro. It's disappointing seeing him do this shit.
But I mean, hey, you know, he made the bet and called it a day. Other than that, though, now that the whole situation
He's been on YouTube for
done,
7 years. How does he like?
Dude, okay. Actually, another thing before you finish it. When he asks, it's like, I just needed somebody to give advice. Dog, nobody should have to give you advice on providing corroborating evidence. This is like something everyone.
But also,
knew.
everyone did give you advice. Even in his taking accountability video, he said, I made a different video and showed it to a lot of people, and some people liked it and didn't. So now I'm making this one that I also showed to a lot of people. Bullshit. He didn't show this to anyone that told him to post it, aside from maybe his, like, you know, people that live with him.
You need to have the eye for stuff like this. Like people shouldn't be making the decisions for you. Like, I shouldn't be telling you, yeah, that's good, you should go ahead and post that, and then you post it. Like, no, you ultimately at the end of the day need to be making that decision for yourself.
Yeah, and also you, not victims that you've taken under your wing. Okay?
Yeah,
you. They don't know how to do YouTube. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Not blaming them for not knowing what they're doing. But they don't have a platform of 800,000 people.
Yeah, but look, at the end of the day, too, that's the other thing, like, that I had an issue with. He's like, I'm giving them my platform. And a lot of it is always, the thing about hiding behind criticism, the part of that call that still flashbangs me is, like, when he just steps back and it's like, hey, Spencer, can you let Muda know how you felt? I'm like, what the Like, wait a minute.
I saw that.
What do you mean?
God.
I'm like, don't do that. Jesus Christ. And look, I have no ill will against any of these people that are, like, in his camp. Look, I get it. You know, you've been through some wild shit, and you probably don't like it if, like, there's somebody, you know, cross-examining you. Yeah, like, I feel bad cross-examining people, which is why I don't cover shit like this, okay? Like, you gotta have somebody that's, like, laser-focused, that, like, knows how to treat these situations properly, and like knows the questions to ask. I let emotions take over, which is why I don't cover shit like this. Dude, I'm not going to cover a story that I don't fully understand and whatnot. And I don't really feel that I can emotionally understand, because it's like, dude, all I'm going to do is like end up feeling really bad for every party involved, and it's going to take away any form of me critically thinking. That's why I don't cover it. That's why it's like, it's an entire part of the reason why, like, you know, I always hand it off to somebody that is better than me at that shit. Simple.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and he doesn't really know how to do that. He just wants to take everything on and you know, blow up YouTube.
I think for
with
him, what's more important is like the popularity that comes out of it, the clout that can be gained. I think the way that he's interacted with some of his like friends, me, you, whatever, the way that he jerks off Charlie, and I'm gonna say it like it is, the way that he jerks this dude off versus me and you or anybody Nux is so different, okay? Like, he can be standoffish with us, but man, the way that he the faux respect that he has for Charlie in the situation is insane. And like, the other thing is like, look, I love Charlie,
but also
what
the thing is, in private, when you know things aren't getting recorded and whatever, he's the nicest, most understanding guy in the world. Right, you'll criticize him and he'll say, you know, oh, thank you so much for bringing this to my attention. I didn't look at it from this perspective. You've given me so much to think about. Mm-hmm. When someone tells that to you, what, you're going to keep dogging on him? It's like, oh shit. Wow, this guy accepted the criticism. Everything's going to change.
Yeah, he's learning.
I think, out of everything, like, I genuinely wonder if this situation would even be all that different had Charlie responded and said, yeah, of course, like, come on, I'll make a video, have all the survivors come on and, you know, tell their story.
No,
like,
this
would
wouldn't be different at all.
Any further? It wouldn't
this
be different, right? Because there's no evidence.
I remember the one clip where he's like, Charlie, you have time to play video games, you have time to talk to me. I'm like,
yeah, I saw that.
I see you playing Red Dead Redemption right now,
dude,
Charlie.
It's like, just imagine
15 minutes.
Yeah. Just imagine, like, the thought process. Okay, let's imagine this is a universe where Charlie's like, all right, we're in the middle of Remnant 2, and he brings him on, okay? So it's like, what does he expect the outcome is going to be? You think Charlie's going to bring him on for, like, what's up, everybody? Me here today, we're playing Remnant 2. Also, we have Max here joining us to discuss the
Max
entire
will be popping
story.
in for 15 minutes to expose a cult.
Like, he's going to be sitting there playing Red Dead 2 or some shit, or Palworld or whatever, and he's gonna be like, all right, by the way, audience, is he gonna interrupt Max in the middle of this explanation and be like, and like explain the game to somebody else? Like, you understand how much of a shit show this appears to be? It's just like, I don't understand. And it's like, even, look, I love Charlie, but what the f*** is he gonna do?
Gift Dick Mod 6974.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Deaf Pedophiles.
Yeah, it's like, what is even Charlie gonna do in this situation? What is he, like a cop? No, he's another guy that makes YouTube videos. You know, at the end of the day, he's just going to tell you what I've been telling you. Take this to the authorities.
But also, you think it's going to be enough?
Offline.
Dude, when Max said in his call to you that, like, well, then why don't you take over this investigation? It's like, first of all, what the? Why is this your plate? You're now going to pick up the potato that he dropped on the floor after running it over with his car? Like,
yeah.
He expects you to take... That's what he would have done to Charlie. Okay?
Yeah,
He would have been in a call with Charlie, and Charlie would have been
now.
like, oh, you're doing a really horrible job about this, my guy. And he would have been like, oh, well, why don't you take over?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, the response is like, if you're so good at it, why don't you do it? Like, even in the call with him, he's like, I am the first one in, but I do not want to be the only one. I'm like, no one asked you to be the person spearheading it, dude. You know why I didn't jump in? Because it's a stupid idea to get behind right now, because you got no evidence, dude.
And
like,
he could have said no. Like, he could have just said, no, there's not enough evidence. This story doesn't hold all that much weight. On to the next case.
Yeah.
That's all he had to do.
Dealt with it with the police. Or at least in his video, he could have said, hey, we're looking for survivors of an alleged sex cult run by allegedly this guy. We don't know if it's true. We're gathering evidence. Like,
yeah.
That would have been totally fine. That would have been completely okay. And, you know, it would have even had the same...
I mean, like, that's what I did. Like, yesterday, I was like, hey, we're investigating Omnia Media. Did I accuse Omnia Media of, like, any crime or malfeasance? I was just like, we're investigating them for a potential issue. If you're a victim, reach out to me via DMs, email, whatever, right? That's all you have to do. You can ask for, like, a victim, or if you believe that they're victims without direct accusations, because you're just investigating something. Now, look, at the end of the day, an investigation can come out completely false. You might change your facts, or not change facts, but you might change your opinion based on the facts that are presented, because it's an evolving thing. And that's all that had to happen. No, he just decided to jump in because, again, I guess he must believe, he either has to believe this, or, you know, he just, maybe there is some really sinister shit going on between Max, Spencer, and, like, this alleged cult dude. And that's really all that it comes out to. And look, the audience that's watched all the coverage on this so far, dude, no matter how comprehensive a video you make, there's so little facts that people walk away from this wondering, what the f*** is
That's
this
why
cult's
he needs
name,
to
or what
keep
is going
fluffing
on?
it up, talking about other cults and cult psychology and how YouTubers are making cults and these cults and those cults, because that's the content. There's no actual content or, you know, evidence against whatever he's alleging.
Yeah, you know what?
Saying.
YouTubers are cultists, okay? There
True.
are cult aspects to YouTube, okay?
True.
Like, hell, go ahead.
And you know what? If he would have made the video from the get-go saying, we're talking today about why you shouldn't trust your favorite influencer because of people, you know, people are like cults. Like, that would have also been fine. You know, an educational, spooky video on that topic. That's also cool. But, like, don't use a, you know, pedophile hunt as a stunt to promote this documentary about cults.
Right.
So I have a really mixed feeling, and I think it's just because, you know, like when I think of Max and like our broken friendship now, that's over. I think of, like, you know, it's like it's like breaking up with someone. You know, it's like you think of all the good times you had and all that, right? But like hearing his Patreon response immediately after all this shit happened, like he sounds exhausted. Like he sounds like he's not sleeping, and he's going off about this like conspiracy stuff about like destructive powerful forces and everything, and like I'm afraid that he's going down like this
Nexpo. Leviathans are coming for you.
Don't do that. You just scared the shit out of me. That was straight into my eardrums, bro. Oh my god. But like hearing that shit, I'm like, dude, I don't know, like what, like how he's doing, you know. But I mean, he dug his bed, man. He dug his grave.
Yeah, listen, mental health for him. I definitely think that there's a screw loose, and you know, I can't speak to him anymore because he's unhinged towards me. But like, his content and the 3 minutes, the teaser that I saw on Patreon, it really felt like it was, you know, like you guys know the QAnon shit, right? Like the pedophile cabal. It really felt like it was just QAnon stuff. Like I was watching like somebody fall into the QAnon like pipeline, and like in his Patreon video he says that powerful forces are shutting him down. Like, I mean, it's unhinged. It literally is the definition of what is, like, what you would say is unhinged. So you know, people that are sitting there and criticizing him for all of the shit that he's doing, you know, it doesn't come out of nowhere, you know? Like, none of this shit is coming out of nowhere. None of this, like, fear is coming out of anywhere. And yeah, sure, he made his bed, and, you know, it is what it is, but do I wish the best still? Yeah, sure. Do I want him to, like, get out of whatever crap that he's in? Sure.
I do feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Like, I feel betrayed, but I also really do feel bad for him. And I do want justice to come to the people that are wronging people. Like, if this guy that he's alleging is a pedophile, if he actually is a pedophile, God, I hope Leviathans come for him. Like, honestly, it's
just a heartbreaking situation,
it
man.
Just sucks.
It's just sad.
It just sucks.
It's just sad.
Muda, should I talk about the Martin Luther King stuff? I don't know if I want to bring it up, but like,
you might as well, because that stuff is actually unironically funny. That's a palate cleanser before we go into the next thing.
Oh God,
the Martin Luther King shit is hilarious.
So he mentions to me privately. I talk to him. I'm like, dude, what do you? So this is right in the beginning when I tell him, yo, stop, trying to get people to promote your thing before anyone has any evidence, right? Anthony Fantano, PewDiePie, and Joe Rogan aren't gonna all sit down and call out Camden Gerard, okay? Because freaking you said so with no evidence.
Hey, bro, can we start off with why the f*** would he hit up Joe Rogan? What the f*** is Joe Rogan gonna say? Is he gonna get there high on DMT and be like, yeah, dude, vampires are real, bro? Think about that?
Pull a Keemstar.
What's he gonna
These
say?
vampire pedos.
Ironically, he's gonna be like Keemstar would treat it more seriously than Joe Rogan. And look, what is H3 podcast gonna say about the vampire story? You know, they're like. Last I watched the H3 podcast, they're not like they cover more lighthearted stuff, right? Like they're covering like goofier shit. I don't think Ethan and he doesn't want to bring his team on and be like, all right, today we're going to talk about like vampire sex cult leader, okay? Like he's not a true crime podcast. What's he going to do? Same with Anthony Fantano. Like what the f*** is he going to do? Like review
Today we're going to be reviewing Drake's new album. Anyway, if any of you know about any vampire sex cults.
Yeah, and then the only one in that list that could have said something was probably like Philip DeFranco, because like Philip DeFranco, he'll cover serious shit, I don't know if he still would do that. It was like PewDiePie. What's PewDiePie gonna say? And then the thing is
like doing Japanese vlogs, right? Like he's in Japan, he's doing a vlog, he's having a good time. Anyway, bros, before we sign off for today, bros, vampire pedophiles.
Yeah. So continue on with the Martin Luther King.
Oh God! So I tell him like, dude, you can't keep doing this and just spearhead this whole thing, messaging all these people, telling them that they have this moral imperative to actually cover all this stuff. And he sends me the wildest analogy in the world. Okay, dude, let me actually read it off to you because it's even weirder than you think. Your point is well taken, though often frowned upon initially. Pressuring public figures has historically been an essential tool for social change. Martin Luther King Jr. faced significant opposition. He was frequently arrested, and actions were considered radical during his time. Yet it was this pressure that contributed to the transformative change in civil rights. Now, while that is true, I don't think bro should be calling himself the next Martin Luther King.
Well, you gotta ask, what would Dr. King do in this situation?
So I brought this up to him in the call. I said, when you sent me that message, I was immediately turned off from your cause, because you realize the major difference between you and Martin Luther King is the fact that he's saying things that no one else is willing to say. You're saying pedophile's bad and then accusing people with no evidence. That is not the same thing at all.
Yeah.
How could you even compare these two? And he's like, oh no, ha 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 ha.
He does the laugh. He does the fucking
and he
laugh.
does the laugh. He's like, I just like Martin Luther King so much. I'm like, yeah, okay.
I'm like, I like Martin Luther King too. I wouldn't equate Chris Hansen's work to him. It's a pretty big difference. But
but I think it does sort of show the headspace just a little bit. He really thinks he's
complex shit, dude.
It's almost a martyr complex too.
Yeah.
Every YouTube video being made against him, there is part of his brain saying,
I am dying for your sins, my children.
And I think he still doesn't realize that, especially in the beginning, all the criticism he's been getting was legitimate criticism because people wanted him to cover the story right. People did not want this to happen.
He has had advice. So when he told you, Mudahar, that it would have been nice to get advice, he got advice. He just didn't listen to it. He already had his mind made up. at every turn.
He got
So,
the advice that he got advice from me that he didn't want. You know, he didn't
Yeah.
want to. He didn't want to hear what he wanted to, and that's what really spiraled into the situation.
He
and
was
why
asking
we're
you for
talking about
advice,
it.
but in actuality, he just wanted you to make a video telling people to subscribe to him.
Yeah, and you know, our thing is like, dude, we can't just cover this shit without ever having true, honest to God evidence. Like, what the? And you know, look, at the end, I hope that maybe what I have here is like the craziest story of like Max doing like a reverse Uno and being like, listen guys, see, I got you to talk about something up, and now somebody actually got arrested. See, this is my plan all along.
Dude,
like,
honestly,
maybe.
I would be okay with that. I would be okay.
Yeah.
I would
just sit
I
there
would
and
still
be
think
like,
he
yeah.
handled it horribly. But if he pulls like a 4D chess light Yagami move, Among Us toast gameplay moment, and he's like,
You all talked about it. I now have 1,000 victims at my disposal.
Like, I would just sit there and be like, yeah, I mean, I still don't agree with you, but like, just because I pity you at this point, like, sure, I'll let you walk away. It's like the Canada on Strike episode from South Park, right? Like, eventually you just kind of concede and give them a little, like, you give them a little leeway, and it is what it is. But one of the other like lighthearted things though that I wanted to get into, and this is a topic that burns people, or it like is indifferent, and it's actually lined up with the massive use of ChatGPT by Max. So what are you guys' thoughts on AI and shit? Like, do you guys think it's okay as creators to use a little bit of AI, or you guys just like demonize it 100%? Like, it's not supposed to be used. What are you guys' thoughts
I think
on
AI is a tool, and like any tool, it could be used ethically and it could be used unethically. And it depends.
So
on
with
the
AI,
context.
I think AI is amazing for horror. I've seen quite a few like AI generated like horror videos, and they're fucking terrifying. And we went into like our old Liminal Land project, trying to like really harp on like the uncanniness of AI itself and like really play into it, because at least in that facet of things, like image generation and all that, there's always that like weird like uncanny nature to it, even today.
Yeah, the lobe shit.
Yeah, like the lobe stuff. Yeah, that too. And like if it's done like Nuck said, if it's done ethically, then I think like if you're generating images that like can't really be visualized in I guess any other way, if that makes any sense. Like if you're trying to generate like a 1940s film reel of like a dog walking, something very specific, right? Like I think like using it's okay, but I don't know. Like AI is it's just there. I don't use it like in my process or anything, but I don't have any like huge issues with it.
So I sometimes use AI when I'm like scripting out a video or like a topic, because I just kind of toss something into like Bing, and it does a Google search, but then I also check and fact check the AI as well too. So in a lot of ways I use it in a sense of like not doing the work, but saving time or like assisting for research. That's about it. Now, you guys know this game that came out, Palworld, recently?
Yeah.
I just downloaded that last night.
Bro, this game has taken over the world by storm. Like, it's probably like the top... Dude, it's like the top 5 like Steam game, all right? Like, people have been playing this. Like, it's cracked 1.2 million players in like the last, I want to say 24 hours.
That's insane.
It's set like the Steam record or something for like most concurrent players, right? I think.
I don't
know
because that's still like they said that, but it's still PUBG that won the title, because PUBG had like at its peak 3.2 million players, so concurrently. So point is, this still broke crazy records. So for anybody that doesn't know Palworld is a game that's all about like, it's like Pokemon with guns. That's like the only way to put it.
It's a survival game, right?
Yeah, it's Ark survival. Like, you guys played Ark, right? Ark, Valheim, shit like that. Okay, well, okay, so you played Minecraft, right? Like, I assume.
I have not.
What?
God damn you!
You've never played Minecraft?
I've never played.
Oh my god!
I know what it is.
Get
okay,
off the internet
Listen.
now.
Yeah. Okay. So you know what it is. You know that it's a game that's all centered around you, like gathering resources, surviving basically day by day, checking your hunger meter and all that stuff. Basically, it's Sims for guys, right? That's all it is. So That's the best way to put it. Sims for the boys.
Sims
But-
for the boys. I like that.
Yeah, Sims for the boys. So it's Ark, but then like they added a Pokemon mechanic because you can invite Pokemon, you capture pals in the game, and the whole point of the pals is to basically serve alongside you, fight in battles, craft shit with you, and all of that stuff. Now it's come out and it's not an original game. It really isn't. It's just a bunch of ideas that work well together, and even the developer is like pretty open about it because I was looking up some actual like quotes from them, and this is like a pretty good paraphrase quote. They're like, Nintendo is a great company. They make unique games, but like not everything has to be unique. Like sometimes you can just kind of take the best ideas and amalgamate them.
I mean, dude,
Yeah,
that's every YouTube
exactly.
video, right? It's that yoink and twist. It's like, this is an existing concept that has existed and worked in the past. I'm going to make it better.
Exactly.
Yeah, just putting your own spin on it.
So this game comes out. It has 100 Pokemon in it, right? Now it takes people 30 seconds to find out that it's not unique Pokemon. Obviously, they're not just heavy inspirations from like Game Freak. They've started copying. Like, there's one copy of like somebody copying like a fanfic Pokemon. Like the developers for this game, and I'm alleging this. They
I did not know
went
that.
on,
That's
like,
crazy.
Dude, one of the things that I like found for a video, like I was recording, and I'm like, dude, it's like the developer went on daily, like, what is that, like DeviantArt, right? And they just downloaded,
That's insane.
Yeah, like they straight up just copied from like, they're straight up copying like fake Pokemon into it too.
That's
Which
awesome.
is whatever. If you want to do it. But like that's the kind of inspiration we're looking
I'm a
at.
fan of this purely because I love Pokemon, and I'm so happy that like they're taking a huge L.
But
like
it's
they have been
yeah.
doing such a horrible job lately with everything.
They need to
I feel
mix
like
it up, man. I agree.
They need to mix it up. Pokemon has been like, it's the biggest franchise in the world, right? It's insanely huge and insanely popular, and the fact that they haven't made a survival game is insane.
Well, did you see what Pokemon Company did? They tweeted out like a video of like the Pokemon Scarlet Violet. Bro, it looks like dog shit compared to this game. Like, it actually looks like pure feces. Like, I'm not even joking.
Oh, God,
it looks
dude.
like it's literally like, when you go on Steam and you find like that $2 Unity game and shit, and you're like, oh wow. It literally looks like that in comparison, and I'm like, dude, this is a multi-billion-dollar company, and like there's people who are like, yo, this game's about to overtake or like match up to sales, which this game is sold like crazy. But to give you an idea of how strong Pokemon is, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was shit on by everyone, yet it's the franchise's most pre-ordered game.
Yeah.
Bro, Game Freak doesn't give a shit, They have proven that they can produce literal feces, and the community for Pokemon is so stupid. So goddamn brain dead. And I mean that with like full malice, that they will just buy whatever the this company shits out. And so they don't obviously care. And the thing is, like, people were accusing them of AI and shit, right? Like, did they use AI to generate their like fake Pokemon? And I'm like, dude, this is the level of research that people lack. So they announced their trailer like 2 years ago before we had all this generative AI shit, and the designs were still the same. So there's no evidence that there's like AI being used. But like the thing is, like, even if there is artificial intelligence that they used, how unique could they really make it? Like, there was a dude comparing like a wolf Pokemon. I'm like, dog, it's a wolf. Like, how unique can a fucking wolf be? Like, all wolves.
Dude, you're
roughly
such a
look the
hater.
same.
You're just a hater.
Yeah. It's like you see, they copied the wolf from Pokemon. I'm like, dog, how do you make the wolf unique? Like, what are you gonna do to it? Like, what the? So there's so much shit that goes on with this game, and I'm just kind of sitting there. I'm like, look, this just shows you how up the Pokemon franchise is when like we're hyping up asset flips on the internet just because we're hoping from something good to come out from this company.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
My thing is, I'm like, I don't even give a shit if it's like even AI anymore. I'm like, dude, I just want like a fun Pokemon game. And if like it takes some company in Japan that like, and here's the thing, the other context is the CEO behind the company like blows AI. Like, this dude gets on his knees and jerks off ChatGPT. That's a fact.
God, dude.
Dude, 100%.
So
In
I
fact,
guess that
what's
just feeds the theories then.
That
of,
feeds
like,
the
the
theory,
AI.
but
Yeah.
what's more important about this guy too is one of the companies he founded. It's like a cryptocurrency trading platform. Dude, I had to do the Mr. Craps, pull my eyes out of my head and like clean them because it turns out in 2018, one of his crypto companies had a $500 million crypto heist. Yeah,
What?
$500 million stolen out of his
Wait,
company, dude.
He
Yeah, yeah. So okay, so he finds his game
my
company,
God,
but a year
bro.
before he finds like this cryptocurrency company that's like a trading platform. So it's like Kraken or like Robinhood for like crypto in Japan. And apparently it did so well that you could have bought like Japanese real estate with Bitcoin, which is insane, right? If like you're in the crypto sphere, but one of the heists that happened in 2018, like apparently like 20 plus something accounts hacked $500 million out of the exchange.
Oh
Now,
my god.
they ended up covering
Jesus
losses,
Christ.
which is great, but it was so bad that like 2 organizations in Japan fused together to create the SEC of Japan just for this company to make
Oh
sure
my
shit
God.
would never happen again. I'm like, dude,
Holy
this guy,
shit.
like the whole history of this guy's gaming company is like, if you had to like take him to town, I don't think he gives a shit about video games. He's like a crypto bro that's like, I
Yeah.
love
Dude.
playing Minecraft, Ark, and Pokemon. What if I fused this shit together? And he's just got infinite money. Like, he's got, like, literally infinite resources to spend towards this. He does not give a shit. Like, this is the dude where he's like, creativity doesn't enter his mind. He's just got money to mix together his
Why are you
projects.
saying it like this?
Well, he admits to not having any creativity. For him, it's like, yo, it's cool that Nintendo's creative, but like sometimes you don't need creativity. I just want to like one of his things. Like I just want to have a game that's super easy to get into. I just want to play with the boys. I'm tired of picking between Ark, Pokemon, and all these stupid games every night. I
We're
just
just
want
making
one
our
game.
own.
Yeah, he's like, I just want one game that all of us can play night after night. None of this stupid, let's decide what we're launching on Steam. That's his entire business motto. His most unique game is like, I think it's like Cyber Witch or some bullshit. Don't quote me on the name. But like, it literally, like, if you squinted your eyes a little bit or developed cataracts, it's Hollow Knight. Like, he's so unashamedly
Oh my god, dude!
copying everything that you could find. So it's like just the digging I've done on him, and like a few people are talking about his crypto company, and I'm like, dude, the biggest story is
So I didn't know this was all going on. So my source for news. Okay, I've been on my Twitter hiatus and life's been grand. Okay, so
Yeah.
my YouTube feed gets full of like those like I get the super anti woke guys and the super woke guys. Like that's my YouTube feed half the time, and it's like. You have the word gay in huge words on the thumbnail, and it's like just shows like the Pokemon with a gun, and I'm just like, well, I don't know the context, and I'm not watching this video to find out. But
It's like, is gay a type actually in this? Like, is that a type matchup now?
yes, I summoned my gay type Pokemon.
Yeah, really. but yeah, it's like you get a bunch of like this guy's whole story is insane to witness because it's just the more I look into the CEO for the company, dude, they're like this guy loves AI so much that like so. Anytime, like, okay, if you go follow any other game developer, they always talk about some creative aspect of the game, right, that they're working on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
you think?
his tweets is like, so I just got everyone in the office to start using AI. Bro, we are so productive.
my
we are
God,
so
dude.
fast,
Oh
bro.
my god, are you for real?
He doesn't even deserve this success.
It's like,
Holy
no,
shit.
but like part of me sits there and I'm like, I kind of love the fact that he's so open about it. He's just like, okay, if you watch the Spider-Man developers, you're like, dude, we managed to make Spider-Man, we managed to make like the swinging animation look so unique and cool. This guy is like, if this guy was to tweet it out, he's like, dude, we just used AI to create like New York in 6 hours. We are so productive, bro. Sure, every street looks like kind of the same. Sure, the signs don't read out, but who's looking at any of that, bro?
Hey, just
we
don't-
made a
don't-
city in
Don't look too close, and you'll just pretend it's New York.
like this guy looks at the GTA 6 trailer, is like, "F- that creativity shit, dude. I could make Vice City in like 20 minutes. Like, it's literally like he's
That's
like
insane.
like he's in the office. He's like, bro, I just spent the whole day with Chat GPT.
Dude, and this is the crackhead that's toppling Pokemon's empire. Like that's insane. Like that
like,
just
that
shows
shows
you
you
how
about-
they
yeah.
flubbed the bag.
I mean, like, here's the thing: Pokemon games could actually be better if they started using Chat GPT, and I'm not even saying that in a mean way. Have you seen some of the designs in the newest Pokemon game?
I have.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Dragon apple pie Pokemon, dude.
Hey,
I'm not even
you're
making
making
that
fun
up.
of drag pie like that?
Yeah, dude, I'm not joking with you. There's like, so my brother, he's the only one in like my family that plays Pokemon games anymore. So I'm like, yo, can you tell me the stupidest design? He's like, just look up this Pokemon. I shit you not, it's like literally it's like some developer at Game Freak was having apple pie that day. He's like, yo, how the do I turn this into a Pokemon? I will put the apple pie on the back of a dragon and just send it out. At that point,
Oh, you mean
is
Flapple?
AI not, yeah, is AI not just better? Is AI not just better for this then? Like, bro, you clearly do, like if
Just
Mid
fucking
Journey
meshing a bunch of ideas together.
yeah, like,
fuck
there
it.
was a game back in the day. I know you guys know this name too. It's Action 52. So this is like, do you guys know that game? It's a game from back in the NES days. So, okay, Action 52 is a game back in the NES days where the developers were like, bro, how do we get value? How do we get somebody to buy our game? So their whole shtick was they put 52 games into one cartridge. So when you go to the store,
I think I have
right,
heard
it's
of
like,
this.
yeah, it's like, so you go to the store and you're like, man, do I want to buy Legend of Zelda? Or do I want to buy Action 52? I mean, you got one game and then you got 52. So this guy brings
bro,
home
that's a
Action
value.
52.
So stupid.
And they have one game on there called Cheetah which is still dog shit, but it's marginally more effort put into it than the other games. And so when you start to play the Action 52 game, you can start to see the point when the developers got lazy. So games 10 to 20 are like, all right, maybe they put some effort in. Games 40 to 50, the enemies are paper clips and shit. Like, it's paper clips flying through. So, like, at that moment, they stopped giving a shit and just started shitting whatever they could on the cartridge. And that's kind of what, like, modern day Pokemon developers are, right? Like, at some point, maybe, like, 3 designs are good, and then they start hitting the crack pipe, and then it's like, all right, let's just get this to task. But the thing is, it's like, they don't have to do anything, because even if they shit out, like, Dragon Apple Pie Pokemon, they still
works.
somehow top the charts.
Dude, I don't know if your Pokemon Go is still making crazy money. And they
Of course it is.
they haven't innovated at all in years.
No, dude, because
Like-
it's still just got normies playing that game day in and day out. It's like,
And it's insane because, like, you have an audience that's nostalgic for Pokemon. They grew up and, they want to live in a Pokemon world, okay? That's the dream. And people are just, they're like,
That's
these are
so sad when you put it like
tiniest,
that.
the tiniest little breadcrumb of Pokemon. Oh, it's Flapple, okay? And they're, I'm like, I get it, okay? I love Pokemon. I loved Pokemon as a kid. I wish there was, like, an actual good Pokemon game. I do.
but there is.
Agreed.
It's Palworld, dude.
But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Palworld. That's the problem.
Palworld is here. Like, it took Pokemon with guns and factories and all that bullshit to finally, like, attract people and, like, get into it. Because here's the thing about it. Even though this game is made by, like, a crypto bro development team, somehow they put more effort and love into the franchise than Game Freak.
That's
which, like,
the crazy
I wish,
part.
like, I wish I could be a fly on the wall at Game Freak headquarters and just, like, imagine how awful it must be to be working for Nintendo, like, in the Legend of Zelda team. Like, you pour your soul out and make Tears of the Kingdom, and then these assholes a building away from you just shit out a Pokemon game and just top the charts and wipe the floor with you. Like, I feel like as a Zelda developer, you have to be angry at yourself. Like, you didn't win Game of the Year, and then you got outsold by the Pokemon company who's, like, laughing across because they probably have
Right.
better deals. They probably can negotiate better with Nintendo. All they have to do is, like, control open the project and just, like, move one set of files to the other, add in a few Pokemon, and that's it. Like, the newest game that came out, when I played it for like an hour, I'm like, dude, if anybody buys this and actually considers it enjoyable, you're the reason why this franchise is dead in the water. And
No, if anyone
Love it.
buys this, you're the reason why this they don't care if
Yeah.
it's enjoyable. You're going to buy the next one anyway because it's your childhood. Okay?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
And
it
at
is.
some point,
Exactly.
you just have to, like, you have to come to terms with your childhood and realize that your childhood sucked.
You want to
okay?
know
Maybe it was
what's
better at some
honestly terrifying? The fact that Pokemon Emerald still gets more views on YouTube than Pokemon Scarlet and Violet speaks magnitudes.
look, when we were kids, those Pokemon games, they had a mystique, they had an aura around them. They had some love and passion put into them.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just every time I load it up, like it almost feels like more creatively bankrupt than a Ubisoft game, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's just I don't know what they're going for. I don't know but maybe that's the audience that's buying it, right? Like kids. Like kids don't give a shit about quality, I guess. For them it's like, throw ball, capture Pokemon, fight gym leader, move on. And maybe that's why this game sells, because the people that are buying it are our age bracket. So we're like, we like Pokemon, but maybe with a little maturity involved into it,
Yeah.
The last
why it
Pokemon
succeeded.
I played was like Sword and Shield, and when I loaded that one up, I was so excited because it was gonna be the first one I've played since I was like middle school or whatever, and it just wasn't the same, bro. I don't know, I couldn't really describe it. Like it just felt kind of bland, and like I remember like walking through like the open fields and everything, and I was just kind of like, man.
The one open
kinda
field in the game?
sucks.
Sorry, one of the two open fields?
Yeah. So I didn't know that. So there you go. Yeah, I stopped playing it because I was so bored.
Aw.
Dude,
But
when
in
I
my
load that
opinion-
game up, I'm like, bro, this is a cell phone game, dude. Like, at what point are we like, and that's why, like, I'm like, dude, I can't support a company that's like this, like, creatively lazy. Like, think about it, dude. Again, I'm like, dude, this is the same system I played Breath of the Wild on, like, and then this
Yeah.
Pokemon company just shitting this game out, not giving a crap. But Palworld's come in, absolutely destroyed the charts. And I don't know if it's going to last for a month or whatever. Maybe it's like a meme game, but even then, it's like it still lasted for a whole month. And
But it also
made
just
waves.
goes to show that the same exact formula as Pokemon, even without the nostalgia, if you just innovate it a little bit, it really has a chance.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does.
and ultimately, that's all it comes out and needs. So honestly, man, ending it off on this note is a bit more of a palate cleanser, and I'm glad this whole episode wasn't just about like Max and shit. Max, I hope you end up getting your stuff well together. We all do.
I really do.
It takes some time to learn. And what we also have learned is if you are a game developer, you can use AI, maybe, allegedly. You can shit out. You can put together 5 of your favorite games, put it on Steam, and make millions of dollars. And no one truly gives a shit.
Case
But-
in point.
And also, I am, once again, I personally am so sorry for taking people at face value and because of that, causing any hate to go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's really not cool, and I'll try to be better about it in the future. I guess,
No, I think we all will. I think we all have done the best that we could in a shitty situation, and I will always, even for like, if I wasn't already questioning vampire werewolf cult leaders, I'm going to be questioning them even more and stuff too.
Yes.
And look,
Yeah.
this is the thing I want to also end on, since I know that at this moment people might not be listening in. I think this whole thing sounds like Twilight, bro. Like it's Twilight.
People were chalking it up to like
that
the
was
Final
the target
Fantasy house.
audience.
Like
That
it was like a
would- but,
Final
like,
Fantasy house
yeah.
/ Supernatural ARG, like the Supernatural TV show.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
They were making the comparison.
Ryan.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. The Final
Yeah.
Fantasy house. Holy shit.
Yep.
What?
So I haven't dug too much into that like whole aspect of things, but I saw people like throwing that theory out there, and I was like, that's actually interesting. Like to read into.
Well, before we end it, there's one good video on Final Fantasy House. I think the only video on the topic. It's by Frederick Knudsen, who that guy is the only one that I've ever seen cover that whole story. So
He's such a
If you
legend,
guys are
man.
interested, dude, absolute legend covering it. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this has been me, Nexpo, and Nux. And hopefully you enjoyed today's podcast episode. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. Check out Ryan's channel, Nexpo, and Liminal Land. Check out Nux Taku. And, if you want, check me out. We are out.